Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a wedding Q&A. Can't believe I have waited this long to film this video. I got married last June and then I started my YouTube channel in August or October, September? I can't remember. I wanted to do this video like immediately since it was kind of like all fresh in my mind and everything. I just didn't do it and people were requesting this video, so I figured I might as well just do it, sit down and film this video now. So I put up a little questionnaire box on Instagram and I got some questions, so I'm just going to answer them and try my best to like remember things about my wedding. So I'm gonna start with the first question, which is, did anything influence the date you picked? I had always wanted a summer wedding for as long as I can remember. June has been my favorite month. Even though June is typically hot, and a lot of brides don't like summer weddings for that reason because it is hot and like they'll sweat and their makeup will sweat off and things like that. But I feel like the date that we picked, the end of June, was like not too hot, and it also wasn't like rainy like spring would be or humid like July or August would be. I also think that all of the trees and flowers are like in their prime in June, so that is also why I wanted a June wedding. When we sat down with our planner or the coordinator, when we first looked at the space, I told her right away that I wanted June, and it was like already filling up. So we kind of had to like book it sooner rather than later, otherwise we would have lost the space. And fun fact, we actually booked our wedding venue before we were even engaged. Now this kind of leads me into like the second question, which someone asked where we got married. So we found this place near me. It was like 15 minutes away. It was this old historic state park. Well, they've now made it into a state park, but it was this old historic village that is like really beautiful. It's on a river. It was just like so perfect. And we went to this space because I had heard a lot about it, and I had done a lot of research for wedding venues like before we were even engaged. Basically, I emailed the lady and I let her know just that I was interested in my budget and this and that, and she told me to come in that Sunday. They had these really long farm tables with like mismatched chairs. They mixed a lot of antiques in with it, and it just felt very me. So like immediately I fell in love. The place we got married at was called Waterloo Village. It was like honestly dreamy. The wedding was in the morning. I had a brunch wedding. My vision for my wedding was basically for it to just feel like an elevated party. We didn't want anything glitzy and glammy. We wanted it to have like a very just casual but also like slightly elegant feel to it, which is why I loved like the rusticness of the barn, but we decorated it with more like elegant decor. My mom did all the flowers and greenery and everything. And also having a brunch wedding was a lot cheaper. To me, a wedding is just a celebration of marriage. So that's kind of the vision that I had for my wedding. My wedding was exactly how I envisioned my wedding to be. Someone asked me where my dress was where my dress was from and how much I paid for it. Now this was probably like the biggest score for me. I had actually looked on a site called Lulu's. It's just like a regular dress clothing site. They're really popular. They had a bunch of white dresses that people also used as wedding dresses. Again, since we didn't really want to spend a lot of money, I thought that I could just find a dress on there and make it work for my wedding dress, especially knowing that I wanted a very casual and simple wedding. So there were some like really pretty ones that Lulu's did have on their site for like $100. But then I decided to just wait. I was actually at Tommy's house when my mom texted me and showed me a picture of this dress that she found from Beholden, which is like Anthropologie's bridal site. But she showed me this dress that was on sale, and they only had one size left. It was my size, and the dress was like everything that I had wanted. I wanted a higher neckline, I wanted cap sleeves, I wanted it to be form-fitting but not like mermaid style, and this dress was that. It was literally like love at first sight. I saw the dress and I was like, yes, this is the dress. This is the dress I'm gonna get. The dress was on sale for $350, which is very good. Like that was the biggest score for me in finding like Oh my gosh, Tommy! I'm gonna go get it. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you've already seen the dress, but this is what it looks like. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's actually prettier than I remembered. The bottom is really beautiful. Oh my gosh. It has like a slight train to it. What's different about this dress, and I find that a lot of Holden's dresses look like this, is they have like a lining underneath that's almost kind of tan. So the dress isn't like white. It's more of a creamy white. Little cap sleeves are so beautiful. Can you see? I also love my veil. This is the veil that I got. Super simple veil. All it has is like this white trim around the edge like that. Nothing, like no beads, no lace, no nothing. Very simple. And I got this one on the David's Bridal sale section. I just absolutely love my dress so much. I got so many compliments on my dress. Someone asked me what you wish you knew beforehand / what you might have changed. I don't know if there's anything that I wish I knew beforehand. I feel like I kind of knew a lot beforehand, even with everything with like the wedding planning process. I think just watching so many people do it and so much like research and books that I had, there's nothing that I like wish I knew beforehand. But in terms of what I would have changed as far as like my actual wedding, I do wish that our wedding was a little bit longer. The longer it is, the more you're gonna pay. So that's why we had like a shorter wedding. I do wish we had a longer wedding just because it's so nice to have like every single family member there together. You don't get that really ever. Just like soaking my wedding all in because it was so short. I felt like I was here, I was there, and I couldn't really soak it all in as much as I wish I would have or could have. Also, we did start to run out of food towards the end. I do wish that we kind of planned it better with my planner, making sure that, you know, we were on top of the food situation, that we had like everything we needed and like backup food or backup servers to check if we had enough food. I didn't really know that until after I got back. My mom told me and I was like really sad. I just loved our food. It was brunch food. So we had like frittatas, little salads, and fresh, thick Lancaster bacon, which was insane. My camera looks crooked. I feel like I'm taking forever with these questions. Who gave the best speech? I would have to say my dad. Honestly, everyone's speeches were the best. I just thought they were all so sweet. My favorite moment. The whole wedding was my favorite moment. Obviously, the moment right before you enter the building to walk down the aisle is like the best moment. Like that was honestly the time where I just felt the most like overwhelmed and sad, but also like so excited and happy. And oh my gosh, I'm like getting butterflies in my heart palpitations just thinking about it. I just remember trying not to cry when my dad was waiting with me right before we left the bridal cottage to enter the ceremony building. But also like getting married and standing at the altar and saying I do was so great. I think the part that stands out to me the most when I like think back on my wedding is right before we left. There was like this little path, and at the end of the path was Tommy's car that we were gonna drive away in, and it was all like decked out and everything. And the people were lined up on either side of the path. Everyone was lined up. It was a super long, 2 super long lines. And I just remember Tommy and I leaving hand in hand and walking, or like kind of running down that pathway and seeing like everyone there in such a small little space because our wedding wasn't that big, and they were all blowing bubbles and we were just running through it and like saying bye to everyone. And then like I got into my car, and then I just remember thinking like, oh my goodness, that was the best, because I don't know, just like seeing everyone right there, so happy to see us, and also just like waving bye to us before we left for our honeymoon. It was just so special. I'm gonna try to insert a clip or a picture somewhere over here. I remember just looking back at that video and feeling like, oh my gosh, that was so great. I love that so much. I think that definitely has to be my favorite moment. I have one more question that I'm going to answer. This isn't really like wedding related, but it's more like marriage related. How did you know he was the one? Can't remember if I've already answered this in one other of my Q&As. I'm gonna try to make this really short because I feel like I'm taking a really long time to answer these questions. If you didn't know, Tommy and I have known each other for now it's like 13 years, but at the time before we got married or before we got engaged, it was like 11 years. We had known each other for a long time beforehand. I already knew his family and he was also homeschooled with me. Like we were in the same homeschooling classes together and stuff, and I knew that they were such a great family and that he was such a great guy. Right before we started hanging out with each other, we met up for coffee and we just kind of shared like a lot of stuff about our lives and kind of like our testimonies and stuff with each other. I just remember like really connecting with him and stuff and just feeling like, wow, okay, this feels like way different than any other person I've liked before and talked to before. And then like time went by and then, you know, he asked me to be his girlfriend and stuff. For us, we believed in dating with the intentions of marriage. Even though we were like younger, we still felt that way and we didn't want to get into a relationship with someone if it was just to get into a relationship with them. We really wanted to take it seriously. So we talked for 10 months before we actually, he actually asked me to be his girlfriend. I feel like that was the best decision for us, just taking our time and talking and getting to really know one another. For me, I always dreamed of being married young. To me, it wasn't weird for me to feel and think that way. He's 3 years older, 2.5 years older than me, so it wasn't weird for him either. We really prayed about it, like seriously prayed. And I just remember feeling like total peace about it. Same with him, and just like really seeking God about it and to show us like if this person isn't the one, then show me. Even though I never heard a clear like you are to marry this person, I felt a peace about it. And same with him and same with our parents and stuff. It was almost like everything just kept working out towards us getting married young. And when you know, you know. I could do like a whole video on just our story, our love story. So I have almost used up like all of my memory on my card. So I am going to end this video here. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that I answered your questions good. I really do enjoy doing these like sit down videos and stuff and just chatting, and I hope that you enjoyed it too. If you did, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Bye guys.